Hello everybody, and welcome to the IT641 Big Data Systems Sprint Video Demonstration. We are Team Red, and this is the Sprint 2 video demonstration. The following video will talk about what we have done so far as part of our Sprint 2 and the various Scrum. We will also share some screenshots along the way as to show how we have progressed through the sprint. Alright, let's get started. As you can see that we have now moved on to the Sprint 2 planning. This planning helped us to overlay a blueprint of the entire plan for the second sprint. As you can see that there are multiple scrums. The reason for that is pure logistics again. The smaller we divided the scrums, the better it was for us to tackle them with ease. We set up specific meeting days for each scrum. This allowed us to plan a strategy to go over and finish each part and assign specific parts to a team member with a designated skill. As you can see that we have an estimated time, which is the time that we thought we would finish the task, and then we would have the actual time, where you can see how long it actually took for each of us to finish that task. Most of our estimations were very accurate, as you can see. This sprint planning helped us to actually see what was the next upcoming task and allowed us to speed up in case of a delay. As you can see here, that the Sprint 2 planning was in the plans. We developed a document for your lesson learned from the previous sprint. So we looked over the previous sprint and learned a lot from it. And of course, I as a project manager posted minutes from our MDM meetings, but also from our group meetings. We installed SQL Server 2017 on each laptop and personal computer. We expanded the data model for inquiry and related tables, as that was our topic. We developed the data dictionary for inquiry and related tables. And we also expanded the OES3 data model to support our local team OES3 assignment. And of course, with all those updates, we updated the Trello boards to show our progress both in the private and in the public boards. And of course, during our MDM meetings, we got the master data model. And then of course we posted minutes on the Trello board. We listed the problems that we encountered during the MDM meetings. We used our Oracle data modeler and verified the expanded OES. And then of course we created a report to list tables with their total number of records. We converted the OES database from Oracle to SQL Server. And we did some revision on the PER chart. We learned a lot of lessons from our previous video presentation. The most important being the video script itself. Prepping actually really helps. Having a script in front of us helps us to realize and analyze the steps that we have to take to create a video. From the last sprint, we also learned to estimate times for our tasks and try to actually complete them before our estimation, and also to better understand the competencies of our teammates. Some of our teammates are good at SQL, some of our teammates are good at Oracle, some of our teammates are good at creating data models, and others are good at other skills such as QlikView or migrating the database from Oracle to SQL Server, so on and so forth. And of course, we had to manage our time more efficiently. Here you can see that we expanded the local OES database in our first sprint. And then we moved on to the expansion and implementation of local OES. Now the actual start is upcoming on the 15th, and we intend to finish it on the 1st of March. And then we will move on to the FAOES, of course. And the actual finish on that is also March 1st. Moving on to the 5th of March, when we design and implement DLFAOES. And we have a bit of delay because of spring break. But after that, we'll move on to the implementation of LFAOES with Hadoop. And we will then take that over to QlikView to analyze data graphically. And then finally, we will implement LFOAES with XML or Python. And our actual finish date is intended to be the 3rd of May 2018. So that's our goal. And here you can see the screenshot of Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 2017. We installed this program on all our laptops and personal computers, so when that need arises, we have it pre-installed And the advantage with Microsoft SQL Server 2017 is that it works with Python on top, which is very handy as compared to the previous versions. Here you can see our expanded data model for inquiry and related tables. Now here you can see that there is an inquiry category table which is connected to the overall, the greater inquiry table. So you'll have inquiry code and type and description in the inquiry category, describing the various categories the inquiry table can have. And of course, there's the assigned category or assigned inquiry category, where there will be an inquiry ID assigned to an employee. And as you can see that it's being attached to the employee table from the master database. And of course, we'll have another one which would be called inquiry resolution. So after the inquiry has been made and an employee has worked on it, has investigated it, it would finally go to the conclusion phase where the inquiry is resolved, the problem is completed, the customer is happy, and then we go on to the full resolution of the inquiry, close it down, and go to the final status, whether it was completed or whether it was still in the pipes. Here you can see the expanded OES3 data model, the insert script for all our inquiry tables. As you can see, there are the scripts for inquiry category, the greater inquiry table itself, inquiry resolution, and the assigned inquiry. Here is our spreadsheet for the data dictionary for inquiry and related tables. As you can see, we took a nomenclature of having the table name first, and with an underscore we'll put the attribute right next to it. That kind of sets the standard for how to do the data dictionary. Table first, underscore, and then the attribute. In the MDM meeting, we discussed that we would stay in that format with that nomenclature, so there is minimal work to do, and also that we stay on the same page. You can also see that we put some sample values around here so that we can make sure that these attributes and the data dictionary works in the grand scheme of things. And of course, there is some description of the nature of these attributes. For example, inquiry ID is basically an ID to identify each customer inquiry. And we did some indexing with it also. And here's a look at the master data model, which we retrieved from our MDM meetings, just to make sure that all the teams are on the same page, and then we can add our own database and our own tables to the master data model so as to negate the possibilities of running into problems, mostly compatibility problems. Here's the data modeler from Oracle Data Modeler to verify the expanded OES. Here you can see we have neatly verified that all tables match and they're interconnected with one another. This is very helpful as it is very neatly designed, organized, and well calibrated within the Oracle environment, so that if there is any problem, we are able to audit it and find where the issue lays. And here's the report to list tables with their total number of records. As you can see in the script output that it relays the information regarding all the records in every table. So for example, vendor has 3 records, tax has 60, product vendor has 5, quantity discount has 8, return product has 377, so on and so forth. And here are the converted Oracle built-in functions available in class notes. So you can see the script for the built-in functions here. So here are the use cases. So in the MDM meetings, we decided to come up with 5 queries, or 5 use cases essentially, per team. And in the end, we will combine all those use cases to work with all the teams and find out what kind of questions we can come up with the integrity of the database as a whole. What kind of questions may arise with the general working of the database. So these were the ones we created. Our number 1 would be check how many customers who inquired about a product have received a promotion. Number 2 would be check how many customers have inquired about a product and paid by a credit card for that product. Number 3, list all the customers who have inquired and bought a product. Number 4, list all the employees working with vendors and also with inquiries. Number 5, list how many employees are handling inquiries in each branch. So working with MDM has been interactive. We know what the issues may arise when working with different teams. Of course, within a certain group, there would be issues when it comes to scheduling a meeting. But when it comes to multiple groups with multiple members, there are issues which are underlying as far as the whole workout of the group project is concerned. One of our challenges was time setting issues. Since we are all grad students, some of them are also dual major in the combined program. Many of the students are also working part-time. There are always time setting issues. Lack of communication was a big one for us because we tried to set up virtual meeting times besides our MDM meeting, and we decided to put up a Slack channel, but that didn't work out so well. And of course, there was also a delayed response for the initial master database. We were expecting it to be completed before the deadline or before where we set the deadline for ourselves so we could allow more time for our individual groups to work on that database. And we still have not received the data dictionary as a whole for the MDM. And here's our general plan to collect data to expand OES3 master database. List the tables for the group assignment. Create the tables according to the instructions. List the attributes for the table and their data types. And creating a mock data from the internet using the data types in the columns. In the meantime, another thing that we got accomplished was the OES3A SQL2 assignment, which was a set of 60 queries, and here are some sample queries that we finalized, and here you can see that there is this PL SQL query for question 20, and here is another query for question number 17, so that was accomplished. This finalized and accomplished our video demonstration for the sprint number 2 for Red Team. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope that you noticed several changes and several developments since our first sprint. Moving on, for sprint 3, we will work and develop and increase our capabilities so that we are on track for the next sprint and on track to complete the project. Looking at the PERT charts, we can see that we have set some estimated time goals for ourselves and an actual time goal for ourselves, and we will hope that we accomplish all those smaller goals before time. Until then, have a great day, and please join us in the upcoming weeks, and we'll have our Sprint 3 video detailing our scrums for our sprint number 3. Thank you.